Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, by the way. इतनी ज़्यादा तारीफ कर दी थोड़ी ज़्यादा मतलब all I'm doing is having fun, to be honest, and this is for the rest of the audience as well. And post talk, let's definitely do like a Q&A as well. Super. So I've been watching a lot of movies as a kid. I remember when I was about 8-10 years old, I used to see all these movies and used to go to theaters and used to see people go crazy when Shah Rukh Khan used to perform that iconic gesture, or the adrenaline rush that we used to feel when Avengers used to assemble in a movie theater fighting the evil, or the moment when all of us cried when we saw Tare Zameen Par as a kid. I saw that these movies and these video clips used to take us through an emotional ride, and I always felt that how can a video clip make me feel so many emotions? I used to feel happiness, I used to feel sorrow while watching all these movies. And the answer is very simple, yet very tricky. It's storytelling. How one story can change your perception, then how these perceptions can turn into reality, you really never know. And changing your perception about anything is one of the things that I try to do every single day, because what you tell yourself eventually becomes your reality. Hey guys, this is Ayush Wadhwa. I'm the founder of Owl Media and a content creator. I've done my mechanical engineering and masters of chemistry from BITS Pilani. I'm a very template engineer who doesn't do engineering and hasn't pursued engineering. Owl Media is an award-winning creative tech agency and a video production house where we help brands tell their stories. Basically, we do everything and anything content and stories you can possibly think of. The last 1 year, which was also the first year of our existence, we have received multiple awards, including recognition from the government of India, worked with about 60 plus brands, trended on Twitter nationwide, worked in advertising, made IPL commercials, made augmented reality games. We are completely disrupting the advertising and content ecosystem. But when I see all of this happened in a span of close to 12-13 months. But keeping all of this aside, at the core, I'm a storyteller. And this journey is not what happened in the last 1 year, because people look at this journey of 1 year and they're like, oh, wow, you built this in 1 year, but that's not true at all. Let me tell you a story. So Owl's journey, as I like to call it, started about 10 years ago. I call it a story that has been 10 years in the making. But before we do that, there's another story that I want to discuss, which happened in March 2020. This was the beginning of, right before the pandemic. All of my friends were getting really high-paying jobs, and everybody had a plan in their mind. Now, I didn't study a lot in college, and you'll get to know why. And I was feeling so low that all of us are from this college where everybody is getting really high-paying jobs. People are making huge companies. People are building such big dreams, and here I am. I don't know what to do with my life. So as a natural course of action, I started applying for different jobs. I knew it's not something that I want to do, but I still went for it. And alongside, while I was doing so, I started working on my dream college project. I have always wanted to create a campus tour video. BITS Pilani as a college, as an engineering college, there weren't a lot of filmmakers. I was probably one of the very few people in college who used to pick up a camera and go to streets and just vlog or make a video. So I never got to hang out with a lot of creators while I was in college. So I thought, before I leave this college, a place that has given me so much, I want to make a film about it. So I started recording these various clips and all that. And then the pandemic hit. And during this time, I was freelancing throughout my college journey, but in my 4th year, I started a company which was called Motion Truvo, which was technically my first agency, and that company failed terribly. I was so confident up till 2019, I thought I'm killing it in life, and suddenly I've made this company and it has now failed. I was hardly getting any freelance gigs, and I was trying to apply for jobs and I wasn't getting any good job. I got a couple of them, but they weren't high paying at all. They weren't the kind of jobs that I want to do. And during all this period, while the pandemic was also going on, the entire world was at a standstill, my perception about myself completely changed. I started thinking that I don't have any skill, I don't know anything, everyone around me seemed better than me, and there is something that I completely forgot. All the things that I'd done before 2020, everything was suddenly a blur. And I realized that, okay, I'm not doing anything, so I must not be worth anything. And that was the biggest mistake that I could have made. The worst thing about hitting any low moment in life is that your perception about yourself completely changes. And if you can learn to rise up from that perception, from what you're trying to perceive there, there's literally no one stopping you. It all started with this dream project. So I was really low. I didn't know what to do. Everybody was getting jobs. And I started taking long walks in college. During those long walks in Bitspalani, I found this temple in the college, and I thought let's shoot like a beautiful video. Pilani sunsets are particularly beautiful. So this one day I went and took my drone and recorded that video. And at about 6 p.m. I noticed this really beautiful moment where the light was forming an exact symmetry of sunset on the right side and shadows on the left side. Now that was really magical for me as a filmmaker, to see symmetry like that. I was blown away. So every day I used to go there and used to get that 10-minute window where I used to try and grab that shot. And that used to go away after 10 minutes because it used to happen towards the very last part of like when the sun was setting. So I went there every day, day in, day out. I tried getting that shot, and I couldn't get it. This one day, after about 6-7 days of persistent effort, I flew my drone, and while I was flying my drone and trying to take this shot, I get a call that the college is closing down. So I took the clip. I didn't even get a chance to see it. I came back home, and just like almost everybody in the world, my life completely stopped. After about 2-3 months, I was randomly browsing through my laptop, and I found this clip, and I'd completely forgotten about this zeal to capture this perfect symmetrical moment because nothing was mattering. For me, I was at the lowest point of my life. I had nothing to do. Again, as I told you, everybody around me was just seeming to be doing better than how I was doing. And I saw this clip, and I realized that I'd hit that perfect moment of perfect symmetry. Now, for a lot of people, this may not be a big deal, but for an artist, if you're trying to achieve something for the longest time, when you get it, that feeling is beautiful. I uploaded that clip on Instagram, and it blew up. It blew out of promotions. Some, I think 100 plus pages have shared this clip till date. Incredible India shared it. It became their most viewed video yet. PM Modi mentioned it in his podcast, and I started seeing all these really cool things happening to me with just one clip. This gave me a lot of confidence at a point when I genuinely needed it. And I realized one thing, that sometimes all you need is a reminder. I had been freelancing for the last 4 to 5 years, and I had gained a lot of skills. I had gained a lot of clients, but I'd forgotten that because of 1 or 2 failures in my life. When this clip blew up, it gave me a lot of confidence. And in about August 2020, of course, it's not a movie, so it's not like after I gained the confidence, the next day I took an action and did something. No, that didn't happen. So this happened in about May, and I took a couple of months to finally realize that you have to keep asking in life, and the importance of asking in general. Till that point, I made sure that I built my self-esteem back. I wrote an email. It was a cold email, and the person to whom I wrote my first cold email became my client, and that's how the company started. And since then, there's no looking back. And that's how Owl started as a company. But a lot happened before this journey. How did I come to this low point in my life was actually very, there's a lot of things that happened in the middle. It all started when I was about 13 years old. I was not the cool kid in school, and I was very jealous of all the kids who used to play basketball and sports, who were great at some really cool activity, because all I did was study and I didn't have anything going for it. So Like that angsty teenager, I wanted a lot of attention in school. So I thought, okay, uh, I can't play sports. I'm not really good at it. But what I can do is I can do something on my computer because I was good with them. Computers, technology, it just came naturally to me for some reason. So one day I used to consume a lot of content. Back in the days, it wasn't called content, it was just videos. So I used to watch a lot of these YouTube videos. And while watching all those YouTube videos, I thought, cool, I have some tech lying around. I should make tech reviews. So we opened our first channel back in 2013. But before that, this was actually not my first channel. I started off with a YouTube video. So once I realized the power of media, and once I realized that people are blowing up online, I record this video of me playing Saregama on guitar. Now, again, I was just trying to do things to get attention of people in school, and guitar was the thing at that moment, that somebody who can play a guitar is the cool kid in the town. So I'd just taken 1 or 2 classes and I came home. I don't know how to play the guitar, but still I'm teaching millions of people how do you play a guitar. And I made this video how to play Saregama on guitar. If you notice closely, it's some 1 minute 20 seconds long. This video gained close to 26,000 views in just a couple of days and some thousands of dislikes. And I was like, that's not cool. I I was getting a lot of hate online for teaching something that even I don't know of. So that happened, and I waited for about a week or so. After gaining about 26,000 views, I realized one thing, that doesn't matter whether the result was positive or not. I realized the power of content. And for a kid, for a 12, 13-year-old, and this was the same desk on which I'm sitting today, on which I made this video. For that kid, it was everything. It gave me all the confidence in the world to go out and start making content. And we did exactly that. The first channel didn't work out. So after that channel, I partnered up with a friend, and we launched our second channel. And this blew up. And back in the day, close to 2,000 subscribers was blowing up, because this is the pre-Geo era. And this time YouTube used to pay a lot. So used to get very handsome checks for just some few thousands of views. So started making money. As 13-year-olds, when you get a check from Google, which is some 6,000-7,000, it's the most beautiful feeling in the world. So we started this, then we started a blog, and we became a team of 5. And then I had a dream. I had a dream that I want to become the biggest YouTuber in the world. I want to build a lot of these YouTube videos. I did that till the end of class 10th, and then the most template thing happened, which happens to all of us middle class folks in India, which is 11th and 12th. Now, as a studious kid who loves maths, engineering was like the obvious option. So while I was making all these videos and I was earning all this money and spending it on games and random things, I realized that we need to put a stop. Studied a lot in 11th and 12th, cracked almost every single exam, cracked IIT, cracked BITS, and realized that all this time, while I was good at all these things, while I was good at maths and all the non-medical subjects, it is not something that I truly want to do. And as a kid from a small town, so I come from Rohtak, we didn't have a lot of advancements in technology. So for me to be able to have discovered this platform, for me to be able to discover YouTube at that time was a big thing. And I realized that this platform, internet, has given me an identity that nothing could have possibly given me, and I can't let it go. So while I was choosing my college, I was very particular that I'm gonna choose BITS because it has 0% attendance policy. And during this time, I realized that internet has huge potential, and in life, whatever I do, the identity that internet was able to give me, this is what I want to do. I want to give this identity to millions of other people, to tons and tons of brands, to some of the biggest brands in the world, and that is what we are trying to do at the company as well. Now that I've realized the power of content, in the year 2020 alone, some 16 million people have consumed my content, and I realized that I just struck the hammer at the right chord. When I came to college, I was very excited. I was like, I'll do freelancing, I'll do filmmaking, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And I came to college and nobody was doing filmmaking. People were doing something else completely different. People were here talking about jobs. People were here talking about consulting. People were here talking about building companies, and their dreams were much bigger than me. Like, I was thinking of becoming the biggest YouTuber. These folks were thinking of building the next YouTube. These folks were thinking of building the next Instagram, and it scared me because I could never dream this big. And all these years, 11th, 12th, I always used to feel that I've wasted my time in studying something. I could have pursued filmmaking during 11th and 12th as well. But with that guilt and with seeing that nobody here wants to pursue filmmaking, I again went into a spiral, and I didn't do anything for the first 1 year. For the first year. In that first year, I joined every possible club. I joined the entrepreneurship club. I even organized TEDx in my college. I joined so many things, so many clubs, so many committees, just because I thought, okay, probably not filmmaking, I'll do something else. But towards the end of my first year, I realized that it's not something that I truly enjoy. I went through the same moment that I went through 11th and 12th, but I realized the last 3 years that I have not pursued filmmaking to its core. These years didn't go to waste because they changed my perception about something. They made me the hustler that I am today. Today, when I'm in a room full of people, I know for a fact that I can't always be the smartest person in the room, and neither do I want to be. But I can always be the hardest working person in the room. And that zeal of picking up one goal, which was IIT in 11th and 12th or in first year to learn different things, if you have that goal and if you can run towards it with full speed, there's nothing more powerful than it. So we did that. This is actually a video that I made back in 2013 when I was hiring. So I made a hiring video looking for blog posts. So I've done all kinds of really embarrassing stuff on the internet. This was me reviewing tech back in 2013. Again, very sad attempt. So this is 2012. We were trying to review phones back then. And I realized that, again, it's the same desk that you see in this photo right now from which I'm sitting today and delivering this talk, is when I realized the power of content, when I was trying to be that cool kid who makes these videos. After my first year ended, I realized, okay, it's time to dive straight into filmmaking. Sab kuch karoge to kuch nahi hoga. It's time to bring in your focus, and I started freelancing. And the first couple of years, I was just saying yes to almost every possible opportunity. I didn't care a lot about if that opportunity is giving me a lot of money or not, if that opportunity will actually lead to any learning or not. I was like, let's just say yes. Because right now, you don't have any connections in the industry and you don't have any doors open for you. Just say yes to whatever's coming. So I started making all kinds of videos. And then one day I went on a trip with my friends and I made a video, and I somehow got into travel filmmaking. And all these things started opening a lot of doors for me. So I worked in commercials, I worked in movies, I worked in TV shows, I worked in so many travel videos. Then one day, somebody called me in Bombay, and they called me to their office, and I started getting really big opportunities. I ended up working with GoPro, I ended up working with Thomas Cook, recording all these really cool videos, traveling to different countries with these companies. And suddenly my freelance career just took off. And I was living my dream. My college had 0% attendance, so it didn't really bug me a lot. I just had to pass. And I was doing that, and I started spending a lot of time outside of my college, and I was doing good in my life, and I realized I'm invincible, and I'm like, I've cracked my code, and I'm so smart, and this I became. There was a point where I became extremely overconfident, but I kept doing anyway. And I realized all this time the key thing that helped me was execution. I never thought a lot. I always just went ahead and executed whatever idea I had. And that led me to open doors that wouldn't have been opened if I would have kept on thinking about it. Even at Owl, when we were trying to crack our the first set of clients, we just made things for them. We made games for them. We made videos for them, sent it to them on an email, and hoping that they will look at that video, realize that it's great, and actually give us work. So that approach of lowering down your ego and just executing helped us so much. But I realized that this was only one part of the story. in 2019, when I came back to Pilani, I realized that I this is a very small dream. I want to dream big, and I want to start a company now. And I thought, because I've been doing so well in freelancing, I'm gonna kill it in the company as well. That was not even remotely the case. When I started the company, I couldn't even crack the first deal for the first 4 months. In fact, I couldn't even crack a single meeting. We started in August, and the first ever meeting that we cracked with a client was in December. All this time, I realized that it's time to go back to the drawing board, because you're not the killer dude that you think you are. In fact, you are the dude who doesn't know jack shit, and you have to recalibrate how you look at life, and you have to start ground zero. And that is the time I realized that learning really never stops. I started talking to so many mentors, started asking for help, and that one thing which I didn't used to do a lot before was ask. So I started asking for help, and I started learning business development, and slowly and steadily we got like a lot of these clients, and we were like, great, the business is going good. And it was about to kick off when the pandemic happened. And during all this time, when I'd worked so hard on one thing, life is always been very kind to me. When I've worked really hard towards something, I've mostly gotten a result out of it. But this last 1 year, I was just working hard towards so many different goals, and nothing tangible was happening. I had written close to 200 emails. I was just reaching out to so many people, trying to show them my work. And because of all this, I lost that confidence. From overconfidence, I became the most underconfident kid on the block. It was, I was privileged enough that I had roof over my head, I had food, I had all the basic necessities taken care of. But मुझे लगता था business तो बहुत आसान होगा. But that those 6-7 months taught me that it's probably one of the hardest things to do. So the pandemic hit, and then that clip thing happened, and that's how I built my confidence back. But since then, I realized that three things have really helped me. One, all this time, whenever I was deeply low, I never asked for help, but now I've started asking for help. Even today, when I feel low, I realize that asking is the most magical thing in the world. Second is, your thoughts contribute more to your reality than you possibly think of. When I was thinking that I'm the most overconfident, when I'm so confident I'm the most killer dude, I was actually able to execute. I failed, that doesn't matter, but that confidence actually gave me the ability to just go out and start that company. I still think that if I wasn't that naive, that if I didn't think that building a company is so easy, I would have never built a company. And even today, what you tell yourself, luckily I've gotten over that period of self-doubt, but what you tell yourself eventually becomes your reality. So if you keep telling yourselves that you can't do anything, there's a very good chance that you won't be able to. So the stories you tell yourself, whatever you tell yourself, become your reality. When I was in college, when I was in my first year of college, my dream was really small. But when I met such incredible people, when I met such incredible forces of humanity around me, thinking really big ideas, I realized that I can't be telling smaller stories. No, I don't want to be the biggest creator in the world. I want to be the company that hosts the like a million huge creators. I want to build that $1 billion company. And it's so easy to say right now in front of the camera, but to genuinely say that to yourself, that you have the capability to build what probably a Jobs made, or probably a Brian Chesky has made, or probably these big entrepreneurs have made, takes a lot of courage. And for me to be able to cross that hurdle of saying that I can actually build the biggest content factory in the entire world, it all started with a thought that I told. It all started with a thought, a story that I told myself, is that I can dream big and I can think beyond a point. Because when you're born in a small town, when you're born around people who probably the biggest dream that they can think of, including me, was the best job that they could get. हम newspapers में पढ़ते थे कि this XYZ college kid cracked a 1 CR job. That was the biggest dream that you can possibly think of. But with internet giving people such strong identities, I realized that now is the time for me to think big, because if I don't think big, that is definitely not going to happen. if you think X, probably X by 2 is going to happen to you. But if you think 100X, there is at least a possibility of that 100X happening to you. And I always tell myself that if this idiot kid could wear an RCB jersey and a Chelsea cap in a Delhi Daredevils versus CSK match, you can definitely go out, dream big, and do whatever you want to. Be the most comfortable in your own skin. And today, now that in the company, all the people that I'm associated with, we are giving people such strong identities. We are telling stories day in, day out. I can finally say that now I have the courage to build some of the biggest things in the world. And that's something which I want to leave you all with, which is great stories only happen to those who know how to tell them, who tell these stories to themselves. Because the thought matters a lot. It all starts with the thought. If you don't give nurturing abilities to this thought, probably the execution will never happen. So thinking about that big dream, making sure that you dream big and start executing and ask for help when it's needed. This golden trio is the most beautiful thing that I've discovered in the last 23, 24 years of my life. Thank you so much.